what is up, friends and family? Welcome to the Zola Talks podcast. My name's Cameron, and I'm here with a really special friend of mine. I was thinking about like how to like intro you when I was driving home to help set it up, and I was like, yo, we're kind of like mentor siblings.
For sure.
Like we're
Totally.
like you're like my sister because we share mentors. I'm here with Bridget Harris.
Hey guys.
And she's incredible. You lead a ministry.
I do.
Up in Wisconsin.
Yes.
And you're a pastor, you're a youth pastor. And you're doing some incredible stuff up there. Tell us a little bit about what life is for you right now and what you're up to.
Yeah. So I'm currently youth pastor in Central Wisconsin. I've been up there almost 4 years now. We're hitting the 4-year mark. Run an awesome ministry called Uncommon Youth. So shout out to Uncommon if you're watching. Love you guys.
Yeah.
But no, it's super great. Central Wisconsin's very different than Rockford. Grew up
absolutely.
in the city, and now it's like I have these maps printed in my office, and they show like the population size.
Yeah.
And so Rockford's like massive, and then you look at Port Edwards, and it's just like puny. But it's beautiful. There's lots of like trees and rivers and lakes, and it's gorgeous. But no, it's an honor to be able to do ministry up there right now. So
no one's ever like said Rockford is bigger than anything else.
No, Rockford's like massive compared to where I live currently.
In comparison.
I live in a town of 1,200 people.
1,200 people? What?
1,200 people.
No way.
Yeah.
There's so many more people than that.
No,
right?
bro, it's 1,200 people. We pull from like surrounding areas, but
like come together, like united. Like, Okay. How many schools you guys have?
I think there's like 2 or 3 main ones. So there's Nakusa, Rapids, Port, and then there's a few other like private schools like Assumption and Spash. So
enough to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
for sure.
sick. Yeah, I don't know how many. There's probably like 12, I think. Like
that's a lot of
middle
schools
and high schools together.
That's crazy.
At least 12, I think. But yeah, how old are you actually?
I'm 24.
You're 24.
I'm 24.
Oh my gosh, and you're doing so much right now. You're also like a professional like traveler, like currently. Every time I open Instagram, you're like in a different country, continent.
I don't know how it happens.
Where did you just get back from?
I just got back from Europe, so from England and Ireland, and Northern Ireland technically because they're split. So I got back from there a couple weeks ago.
I love how like chill you like. Yeah, I just got back from Europe.
It's
stuff I'll never say in my life.
I feel like once you start traveling though, you just realize how like yes, it's a different country, but at the core there's a lot of similar things, right? So it's just like it's kind of like I feel like it's similar to like if you were friends with celebrities, right? At some point you wouldn't be like, oh, they're celebrities. It's like, oh, this is my homie, this is my friend.
There's certain celebrities, yes, and then there's other celebrities where I'm like you're still so and so, like
sure, but people would consider you a celebrity. Like you're pretty well known at this point, Cam.
In Rockford.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
I'm like,
you're my homie, you're my friend. Maybe I should fangirl more. I'm sorry. Should I fangirl more?
I should fanboy more. You know what? I should be a roadie. Like that's what I should be. You need to take me with you. I'll carry all your luggage. I'll make sure we get to. No, I'm not gonna promise that because I'm always late. But we'll get there though.
We'll get there.
I can promise we'll get there. I need to be a roadie, man. Well,
I mean, you came to Blitz.
I did come to Blitz.
Our youth retreat a couple months ago,
it was
and
crazy.
that felt like roadie type.
It did feel like roadie.
Fun.
Yes, that was crazy. Wisconsin's just different, y'all. Wisconsin is just, especially in the winter, you just feel like you're like, I've never been to Canada.
It's a different universe.
That's as close as I'm going to get. It's a different universe. It is. Man, well, thank you so much for coming. We're in my living room right now. I do have a cat, and I don't know where she is. And I have a little bit of anxiety because I don't know where she is currently. So if you see me throw water or something, it's because my cat Luna is acting cray-cray.
That could be a fun game for you, whoever's watching.
Find Luna.
Find Luna.
Please find Luna. Point her out if you see her. We'll pause frame. But I wanted to have a conversation with you because we're jumping into this series talking about sowing seeds.
Yeah.
So Luna, she's there.
There she is.
I don't know if you can see her, but she's like climbing on the couch right now. But yeah, we're in a series called Summer of Sowing, and we're talking about just like sowing.
Yeah, Summer of Sowing. Hey, I like that.
Sometimes I'm really good with it. Sometimes, yeah, for real.
I like it.
But yeah, that was one of my best moments. Highlight of my summer.
That is peak Cam.
Honestly, that's the best. I did that on a Tuesday. That's not like Friday brain.
Dang,
that's Tuesday
that's
brain. You know,
that's good.
Friday I would have been like, throw seeds or something. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, we're in the series. We're talking about sowing seeds and all type of different ideas. Anywhere you can make an investment, we're trying to figure out as a ministry how to make these investments. And there's one thing I feel like you do really well is that you're an awesome friend. You're an incredible friend. You've shown up for people. You're always there. You're always available too. I think it's just hard to like be a leader. And it's for you, like you're leading an entire ministry, but also to keep like your availability. And that like really, really like challenges me, that pushes me. And I appreciate that about you. Along with that availability, you're available to people and to friends. And so I feel like you do an incredible job of sowing good seeds into friendships. Friendships that, you know, some people would give up on. And friendships that are just honestly super beneficial for you. So I kind of wanted to talk about all things friends.
Yeah, let's
friends,
do it.
homies, homeboys, pals, broskies, sisters, whatever you would consider.
I love it. So, that's great.
Yeah, let me know.
What do you call your friends?
Sorry, my cat is. She's.
I wish you guys could see Luna right now. You'd be having so much more fun. Like she's
I'm sorry. You're saying.
No, yeah. So yeah, friends. I mean, they're super important. I don't know. I don't know if there's a leading question or if there's something specific you want me to hit on.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Just friends.
Yeah, friends.
Yeah, have friends. That's it. That's all I gotta say. No, but for real, you know, I think even just talking about like if we're gonna dive into friendships a little bit and talk about how to maintain it and all that, I think it's kind of important to set up but why friendships, right? You know, why is that a priority? Why is it something we should maintain? Why is it something we should value? And I think if you just getting scriptural for a moment, like look at Jesus's life, look at what the word says. You know, you look back in Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible, and it immediately talks about how it's not good that man shall be alone. Like God created everything, right? If we're talking about sowing seeds in creation, like he created everything.
Absolutely.
It was the definition of perfection.
Yes.
Okay, Cam, what is your definition of perfection?
Michael B. Jordan. No, I'm kidding.
That's good. That's real.
The definition of perfection. Oh man, what a crazy question to be hit with on the spot. The definition of
and you can get fun with it too. Like even if you're like picture your Eden. Like what does your Eden look like?
Oh man, my Eden would probably involve like 70 degrees all times.
That's good.
All water is at room temp.
I like it.
So you can drink out of anything. And apples, when you bite apples, they don't hurt your teeth.
Oh.
When you eat ice cream, it doesn't hurt your gums.
This is good.
And mosquitoes, non-existent.
Non-existent.
I'm pretty sure from my pastoral perspective, that's what Eden was.
No mosquitoes.
No, definitely.
That was post-fall. Mosquitoes came from the fall.
100%. There was no need for insect vampires.
No.
No need at all.
No need. That's
my perfect.
That's good.
Yeah.
And so we pictured that I feel like I need to expand my picture of Eden now because everything you just said, I was like, dang, that's good. I need to add that. But it's like you have this picture of perfection, right? Everything like God's like, I made animals, it's good. I made the land, it's good. The heavens and the earth, everything's good.
Yeah.
And then he sees Adam by himself, the first human. Yeah. And he says, this is not good. This is not good that man shall be alone.
Wow.
And so it's the first time recorded in history ever that God's like, this is not good.
Yeah.
And so even going back to the original, like why friends, why community, why should we value these things? It's like, well, if the creator, the one who makes the blueprints for how we should do life says it's not good that we're alone, then it's like, that should be a signal that that's a priority for us. No, you're all good.
Sorry.
It's littered, like I kind of nerd out about scripture. I hope that's okay.
This is the place to do it.
Perfect. Or even just looking at when we're talking in Galatians about bearing one another's burdens, you've probably heard this quote before. I don't remember who it came from because it's been passed around so much, but the quote of you can't one another yourself. You can't one another your own burdens. So it's like, you have to have community, or I think there's another scripture in Proverbs, and all you theologians out there, if I'm like misquoting, just drop in the correct reference, okay? Throw it in the chats, the comments. But it's talking about how beneficial it is, like if somebody falls, then you need to have somebody to help you up, or if you're cold, like you need another person to keep you warm. Like it just gives all these scenarios of like, man, you can't do this when you're by yourself.
I think it's important to notice that the lack of is intentional.
Yeah.
So like when God made everything, he made everything in a complete cycle that's self-dependent. And it can like just go on without itself. Like without human contact, the things that God created, they will continue to exist. Like the sun is still gonna rise. Yeah. Like the water's still gonna do what water do. Grass still gonna be grass, and like animals still.
It functions way better without us.
But then exactly. But then when he creates us, there's intentional lack.
Yeah.
He's like you intentionally come here in need of community.
Yeah. Like we could not function by ourselves. We couldn't survive.
No.
We couldn't continue on even. Like that's just it.
And the crazy part is that we live in a world where I feel like people kind of sell that. Like you can do this by yourself. You actually are all you need. No one can stop you, you know, and it kind of creates this mindset of like, I would like to, like, as a fan of Batman.
Okay, I like Batman.
Okay, Batman's pretty cool.
I'm more Spider-Man than Batman, but
I can relate to that. I can get that, especially with what they've been doing in the past couple of movies. Big fan.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Who would win in a fight? Put it in the chat right now. No, but like as a fan of Batman, one of the worst qualities of him is the way he broods in solitude.
Yeah.
Under the idea of like, I don't need a friend. I don't need a person. I can do this all by myself. What do you think about that? Like when you think of like that need, or people being like, I don't need this, like, or even the convincing of it. Like, what do you think?
You know, I totally understand where that mindset comes from, right? Because most people that kind of carry this mindset of like, I can do this by myself, is they've either had to because of the way that they've grown up, like they were forced into that situation, or they trusted somebody and that was betrayed, and they're like, I can't do this again. So I totally understand where that mindset comes from. I just think that mindset comes from a broken world. Like it comes from the fall. It comes from that disconnect. So it's like, if you're functioning in healthy relationship the way that you're supposed to, honestly, in my mind, I'm like, if you're truly functioning in health in your relationships, there would never be a point where you'd want to do it on your own, where you'd be like, yes, this is better on my own than with other people. Like if you have people that you can trust in your life, people that you can rely on, people that are challenging you, people that you know are gonna like speak life into you, like at that point, it's like, well, why would you want to do something by yourself? You know?
100%.
So I think it comes from a hurt. I think that's what that mindset comes from.
A hurt that has been learned. A hurt that has been yet to be disproven. I think that's like, you know, our trust and our ability to let people in goes as far as we've experienced.
For sure.
You know? And I feel like that's, if we can be honest, like that's real. That's okay. Like especially like if you're like, you know, in your 20s, you've probably dealt with a great deal of friends.
Totally.
You know, this person was my friend, this person has had my back, and I think unlearning that is a process. What's crazy is that sometimes when we're hurt and we are unlearning that hurt or that pain or growing from that pain, we shut down and we shut off all encounters with other people. Like we're like closed off in the season of growth. And I feel like sometimes that's like how the enemy robs us of really cool friendships, because it's like, I know that you're hurting and you're like, you're in process of healing, but in process of healing, you still have to eat, you know, like don't shut yourself off to people. For sure. I'm guilty.
Yeah, and I think probably
so guilty of that.
Like being real, most of us are at some point in our lives, you know. But no, for sure, exactly what you're saying. Like when we try to build up our defenses in that way, of being like, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to whatever. You know, it's like if you're building that wall, you're not just keeping the bad stuff out. You're keeping the good stuff out too. 100%. Exactly like you're saying.
100%.
You know.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. All right, I need you to tell me 5 of your best friends.
Oh my gosh,
and I need a quality from each friend. So like say a name and be like, because of this quality is why that they're a good friend in my life.
Okay. Man, this is tough because I have a lot of like really great friends.
They're probably gonna be watching this too.
I know,
so
it's
like,
making me nervous.
I'm sending this to everyone we know. So I know a few people won't be on this list.
Can I give like 30 names?
We don't.
20?
30 names. No, you got to single it down to 5.
I'll single it down to 5. But for the record, listen, I love you all equally. Okay. I can't do it. Okay, I'll start with Olivia because I just saw her last night. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll start
also,
with Olivia.
You do not have to put me on this list because you're in my living room right now. I just want you to know, like, this is let me make it easier. 5 friends outside of me.
5 friends outside of you. Okay. That actually does make it easy because you're totally going to be on that list. So I was trying to figure out which friend I was going to cut. Cam just saved you, whoever that was.
One of y'all owe me. I don't know who, but one of y'all owe me.
So let's start with Olivia, right?
Okay.
Olivia has so many wonderful qualities, so many. But one of the things, like last night with her, I walked in the door and within 5 minutes, we were laughing. Like one of my favorite characteristics about Olivia is just the joy and like, it's just the joy that she carries around. You know what I mean? Like there's she's probably the least negative, least pessimistic person. She's just so full of joy and like a lightness where it's like 5 minutes in the room and we're like in tears laughing 100%. Already. You know?
I can relate to that.
So I would say that would be like one of Olivia's great qualities.
Okay.
Okay, another one. I mentioned Grace earlier today. I'll fill you in, Grace, if you're watching this podcast. I was asking for a lint roller, and I accidentally said your name instead of my sister's name.
Out of habit.
Like, out of habit.
Like, she just assumed that you'd be here in Rockford.
Grace. So one of the best qualities about Grace is that she is so reliable and just so, like, servant-hearted. Like, that is her, like, she just loves to serve people.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that was the slip up of being like, Grace just so naturally is like, what do you need? How can I help? How can I be there for you? And she is there for you. Yeah. That it's like, oh dang, like that's impressive. You know what I'm saying? So I accidentally asked for your help even though you weren't here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for that, Grace.
Shout out to all the Graces out there.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not named Grace, we still appreciate you.
We still love you.
Yeah. We should have a national holiday for y'all.
Yeah.
Grace Day.
Absolutely, Grace Day.
Day of Grace.
Day of Grace. I like it. Another one, Hannah. So she's another one of my really close friends. And what I love about Hannah is she's one of the people that I go to when I'm trying to wrestle through something or discern something.
Yeah.
And she is so great about like, she'll tell you what you need, like what you need to hear. And not in like a brutal, like not in like a harsh way, but like she's the person like, okay, I just got my hair cut. And I literally, before I got my haircut, I texted her and I was like, hey, be straight with me. Like, is this gonna look good on me or not? And I know like Hannah, whether it's something as silly as a haircut or being like, hey, I need you to pray with me about this situation. Like from what you've seen in my life, from what you know about me, like, can you speak to this? And so she just is so good at like coming with wisdom and love, but also truth. You know, she pairs truth and love so well. So that would be a great.
It almost sounds like Hannah. Grace because like Hannah. The name means grace.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
So two Graces.
Stacked lineup so far. What is that? 3, 4? What are we at?
What did we at?
3?
Hang on.
Is that 3? Is anybody counting? Darius, you counting? Darius counting 3.
3. All right. We're at 3.
We got a stacked lineup so far.
Oh my gosh, this is getting really difficult.
Yeah, it's down
This
to
is
the
getting
last
really
2.
difficult. I don't want to do it.
Off.
I don't want to do it. All right, I'll go with. Jeez, this is so hard. This is so hard. I have so many good friends, Cameron.
I'm sorry.
You're killing me, bro.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I gotta go with one of my homies, Johan.
Oh, what a dog.
He's one of your homies too.
Yes, I love Johan.
Okay, so Johan and I have been friends since like high school years.
Yes.
We've seen the best and the worst of each other.
Yeah.
And it's wild. So one of the things that I love about Johan is his like intentionality and also his loyalty. Like those would be 2 of the things. So it's like we don't see each other very much. Like he's doing know he's doing some wild stuff right now.
This is all right. He
thought I traveled. He travels honestly. Way more than I do.
You know what? Yeah, I need to be his roadie.
You need to be his roadie.
Oh my. Yo, Johan. Throw Johan's name in the chat right now.
Hey, Johan.
Johan, I'm sliding with you to your next whatever.
Yeah. So Johan is like, despite all of his travel, despite all of that stuff, he's so intentional about making sure that his people that he cares about like know that.
For sure.
So like he'll randomly just send me gifts sometimes because that's one of the ways that he's like, I'm trying to show you that I love you right now. He gave me my favorite pair of shoes. I should have been wearing them that ever exist. It's a pair of Vans and it has my dog's face on them. Okay.
How did he acquire?
I don't know. I don't know how he did it. He's a magician.
That's amazing.
Or like when I first moved to to Port Edwards, like I was sad. I was moving by myself. I was very excited, uncommon, but I was like sad to be leaving my friends and like sad to be leaving home. And so within my first week there, he mailed me this giant photo of me, Tati, Josh, and Johan, like massive.
Who does
like
this?
Absolutely massive.
Who does this?
And he was basically just like, we love and miss you, like that kind of thing, right? Or every year he carves out time to come spend time like up at the cabin over the 4th of July. And he's like he's got shows like crazy. And he's like, no, like this week is
What a
reserved.
guy.
So
what a dude.
Yeah, he's so loyal. He's so intentional, even though he has a busy schedule. And I think that's important because like busyness can take over our lives. But like even despite our schedules, you can still be intentional about loving people and showing them that you care, you know?
Oh, for sure. That's so cool. What a guy. I love him.
What a guy.
All right, you got one more.
I know. I literally am racking my brain because
this, dude.
It's not that there's not people. It's that there's too many people to pick from right now.
You want me to do a disclosure for you? This is an announcement on behalf of my friend. If you were not in her top 5, it does not mean she doesn't love you. She just didn't have time to talk about how great you are.
It's
and
true.
She had to talk about 5 people with less attributes and characteristics. So that's
good. That's good.
Take us home now.
Okay. Oh gosh. Hang on. I'm thinking through really quick. I'm thinking who's not going to be offended by this. I'm just kidding. No. You know what I'd say? I'm gonna shout out another long-term homie. Would be Josh. And Josh is phenomenal. I love Josh. But Josh is one of the biggest encouragers that I've ever met. Like it never fails. Every time I see Josh, he's like, hey, I just want to speak life into you right now. Hey, I see this in you. Hey, can I pray over you? Like he is one of the biggest encouragers, and he's so humble. Like Josh is always doing stuff. He's always making moves. Like he's awesome. If you have Josh as your youth pastor, tell him you love him because he's phenomenal.
Come on.
But every time I see Josh, he's just like, how can I honor you? How can I speak life into you? How can I encourage you?
For sure.
So yeah.
Dude, that's a solid top 5 lineup.
It's solid.
What I love most about the people that you select to be close to you, these are people that do things really well.
Yeah.
And now this is going to sound crazy. You do a lot of things really well, but these people are experts in that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're good at what you do and what you provide for a friend, but you have experts.
Yeah.
In each quality, dare I say, fruits of the spirit.
Absolutely.
That are represented in your circle. And I feel like when it comes to like sowing a seed of like, man, who do I want to be around me? Ask yourself like, well, what do you need to get better at?
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's so real.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's so real.
I feel like sometimes that could be like a dig, but it's not a dig. It's like I know what I'm good at, and I know what I can bring to the table in a friendship. But what do I lack?
Yes.
Because whatever I don't bring into a friendship, and if I don't find a person who has that quality, guess what? My circle and my table and my life is missing that quality.
It's so true.
If I'm stingy, and all my homies are stingy, guess what?
We're a bunch of stingy people. You're going to be stingy together.
And when we go out to eat, we're never going to leave a good tip because we're stingy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's just so cool. Now, here's my question. Was that conscious, or was that like Holy Spirit moment?
I think some a little bit of both. Like Johan and Josh, we've been friends for a long time. I think that was the grace of the Lord. He just gave us patience for one another, and we matured into good people.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah. We're in the process.
But I think it was really intentional. So this is a small example, right? But like I'm typically more of an introverted person. Like I could be so content just being at home with a book and my dog, and like I could hermit for a long time. Like that. For real. And all of those people that I just named are so extroverted, and I need that. Like I need that though, because every time I go out with them or just they're over or whatever, they pull out a different side of me where it's like, oh, like this is fun, or you're making me more social, or like, oh yeah, I'm engaging in conversation that I typically wouldn't. For sure. And so I think it's more so like it's probably more subconscious, I think initially. But then the more you're looking into it, you're like, oh no, like I'm intentionally seeking these people out.
That's huge. It takes a little bit of self-evaluation.
For sure.
You have to know what you bring. You have to be aware of it. And I think if you don't have that awareness, it prevents the seed that you can sow into a friendship. Because if you don't know what you need to be asking for, then you're gonna live without.
Totally.
Man, okay, we're about to, Dare, how much time we got left? Okay, we're about to wrap this. Is there any, like, one last nugget you can give us before we close this out?
Honestly, I would just say fight for your friendships. Like, I think one of the biggest things in culture now, kind of what we talked about, but especially if you're in a position of leadership, is people are going to tell you leadership is lonely. And on some level it is, but like, you don't have to subscribe to that.
Come on.
Like, you can have intentional friendships, and you need to have intentional friendships. You need to have people that are going to call you out on things. You need to have people that are going to challenge you on things. You need to have people that are going to speak life to you and encourage you. And I would say, as much as you can, diversify your friendships. Like, find different friends that offer different things, like you were saying. And I would say too, like, I think culture, here's one thing I'm kind of passionate about. I think culture, like, really emphasizes this, like, best friend thing, right? Like, in movies, you always see it's like the best friend or whatever. And especially for the younger generation, I've noticed, like, people feel sad if they don't have that. And like, no, like, that's great to have one close friend, but it's so much better to have a circle of people that you're like, oh, they each offer different perspectives and different mindsets and different strengths. And I'm like, don't just have one friendship. If that's where you're starting, that's great. Like, if you have no friends, start with a friend. But like, build your squad. Like, we talked about that growing up.
Build
and I'm like, that's
squad,
so true.
Bro.
Build your squad.
Build your squad. I love that. Let's sow into our squads.
Let's sow into your
squads that are sewed together, grow together. And that rhymed. Oh my gosh.
And one last thing I would say is, if you're in that season right now where you're like, dude, I want this so bad. Like, I want good friends and I just don't have it. First off, I'd say pray for it. Like, for real. Like, ask God to help you in that. But also self-reflection, like you were saying, like, are you the type of friend that other people are going to want to be friends with?
What do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to the table?
What do you bring with yourself?
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. Man, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time, for just, like, I know you came into town to hang with friends and hit some errands, and I texted you. I was like, dude, could you please come through? And then you also brought gear. So thank you so much.
No, it's
you're
an honor.
Amazing. For all of our friends out there, man, I don't know if you're watching this on your way to work or if you're at the gym right now or whatever is happening right now, man, you deserve to have good friends in your life. It has nothing to do with your past, man.
Absolutely.
Have good friends. You deserve it. Invest into good friendships. Challenge people. If you know someone that needs a friend or who needs to be a friend with you, go ahead and send this video to them. We love y'all so much, man. If you guys got something from this, go ahead. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we will catch y'all at service next time we get together.
Wait. Before you end it, can I just, like, shout you out for a second? Like, I know this is your podcast. You're never going to do it. So, like, listen, if you know Cameron in person, just tell him how great he is. Tell him you love him. Like, the fact that Cameron's even doing this right now, like, this is such a blessing for people to be able to hear these things. And so, Cam, you are one of the most, like, steadfast, determined, passionate people that I know. And every time I'm around you, I'm just inspired. Like, you're always doing stuff. You're always making moves. You're always, like, the impact that you've had on this community and your friends and youth students, and, like, it's impossible to quantify the impact that you've had on people. And so the fact that you've allowed me to come and to be a part of this, it means the world to me, because I think you're super cool. Even though you're my homie, like, I'm fangirling.
Dude,
I'm fangirling. Cam's awesome.
She was in a different country before this. Dude, you guys think we should bring her out to Zola, or if we need to have her on the podcast? Let us know right now in the comments, because we love you and we're so grateful for you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much. Those words, I received them, and they're heard, and I needed them. Thank you so much, man. Get you a friend like Bridget, man. Get you a friend like Bridget. I love you so much.
I love you, Cam.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
This is awesome.
See y'all.